Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV in Coldwater, Michigan today with a fun one. It is a type of camper I lovingly refer to as a mutant. This is the 14CC Wolf Pup, and it's the travel trailer that asks the question, what if we got the door off the sidewall? What would that look like? Let's find out in our little floor plan in a flash here. This is what I call a towable truck camper, because if you look at this layout, it is laid out like a truck camper where you come in the back wall basically and then move forward toward the nose toward the bed, but instead of the bed being goosenecked up in like some loft above the cab of your vehicle, it's all in one easy flat deck. And here's the thing, you're towing this one, you're not carrying this one. So even a small truck camper, really typically you need about a 3/4 ton truck. There's not a lot of truck campers really a good fit for a half ton. This thing with a 5,000 pound GVW and a pretty manageable hitch weight, a solid tow package SUV or tow package mid-size pickup could yank this one around, let alone a half ton all day long. That's kind of the cool thing about this one. And the funny thing is, despite you physically are getting more camper and more features and more space, if you compare the price tag of one of these compared to a similarly sized truck camper, you will find this to be shockingly affordable for what you get. Pound for pound, I think it's a better buy than a lot of truck campers. Now, if you're looking to have a small camper on the back of a truck and then put a little bass boat behind it, yeah, okay, a truck camper makes sense. But if you're just looking to do some little runaround camping, this thing is awesome. Not to mention the fact you open the rear door on this thing, and you could load a kayak right up the back side of this one, like you're giving it some sort of kayak blostomy. I'll work that one out in my own time. It ain't perfect. It's like it's got a Camp Queen bed. The shower headroom's a little bit tricky, but we're looking at it in Black Label edition, and this one's really cool in Black Label because you get not one, but two of those big XL Fajita Friday Fume Fighting Farm fans. Fart. Yeah, fart in the farm. Now, one of the things I'll tell you is, it's a small, compact camper, and a lot of this video footage is going to look really up close and in your face because I don't use tricky fisheye wide-angle camera lenses. I mean, I totally could, and it would make the thing look ginormous. But I don't think this is a realistic, fair representation of how the RV actually appears. And the last thing I want to have happen is have you, watch one of these and then come see the RV in person and be super disappointed about what you see. I think that sucks. So, if you can bear with stuff being in your face and me panning around real slowly, we're going to get there. Carpetless, ventless flooring, very pet friendly in that regard. Now, big window overlooking the dinette right here. They do not currently offer a sofa option in this. I'd be kind of curious if anybody would be interested in something like that. The Riverside Explorer 135X, which I have a video of, it's a very similar floor plan. It predates, actually. It's a predecessor to this one from a different company. It might be where Cherokee got the idea. I don't know. My point here is they do offer a sofa or a dinette, which is interesting. Now, the pillows here, first of all, the extra furry Pomeranian fluff pillow, that's part of the Black Label package that we're looking at today, like the solid surface counters. Normally that wouldn't be there. The upgraded bedding, basically, as it were, part of that Black Label stuff. Normally I would have put it on the other side of the RV, up by what I would call the headrest, but I looked at it and I don't know, it kind of makes sense to me facing this direction instead. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, I'm not sure. I like how they include the extra storage overhead in here. And in the Black Label edition, you get those extra little bendy lights. Now, they are either blue or white, depending on if you tap or hold the activation button. You may have noticed next to the dinette and next to the bed, you've got some USB plugs on both sides. Interestingly, over here, this is a household outlet and another set of USB plugs, but this big funky brick is actually a localized inverter. So if you have something like a miniature standing fan or a CPAP machine or a dehumidifier you want to run while you're boondock camping when you don't have a generator, when you don't have park power, that outlet actually could pull off the battery, and it pulls extra hard off the battery. Keep that in mind. So, you got to be able to manage your power usage accordingly, but it is something you can do. Now, this empty little gap up here, that black plug, this is prepped and ready for like a little Wi-Fi hotspot thing that you could add up onto the roof. And they have obviously lightened and brightened up their color palette as compared to last year with that kind of almost honey tan colored natural wood sort of tone they're going on with here. I think it looks pretty good myself. Now, solid surface counters in the kitchen of the Black Label edition. And it's interesting, with Black Label, you also get a split sink cover. And it creates an opportunity that I think is kind of interesting here. Like, if you pull that off, you can kind of still use the sink. And then you can kind of create a little bacon grease side splash, because evidently RV engineers seem to buy some kind of mystery bacon that only splatters grease toward the sidewall of the RV and not sideways. I don't know. Maybe the Amish people in Elkhart County have some kind of crazy magic that helps them accomplish that. I'm not sure. I've certainly never seen anything like that myself. Now, the TV hookup is over there above the dinette, and I don't think somebody's buying a camper like this so they can sit inside and watch TV all the day. But the TV hookup's in a weird spot. However, I got a question for you. I'm currently laying on the front bed right now. What if this front bed was some kind of sideways flip-up Murphy sofa, like the Salem Wildwood FSX models? That would give us a sofa and a dinette, and the sofa would directly face the TV. Would that be something that interests you? I think that would be a really cool feature myself, and I almost turned into Scooby-Doo there. But, yeah, never mind. Now, I'll get you a look at all the storage in just a second. I do want to mention this big overhead cabinet. I mean, you know, I threw some stuff in there just to kind of give you a reference. It's neat, but it's an auto close door. In sales terms, you got to watch the marketing on that. It's you know, it doesn't have a holdback. It doesn't have a strut. Now, your command panel over here, if you want, you can Bluetooth to that and be able to control some stuff. They're still including AM/FM stereo here, some HDMI plugs if you want to add a thing. We've got a little voltage monitor so you can tell how much juice is left on the batteries. Kind of like, you know, a gas gauge in your vehicle, or fuel gauge, depending on the type of vehicle you have and what you're driving, obviously. Now, it looks like we've done a bit of a 360 here. We're going to work our way up and around. Let's start up in this corner here, cracking open first the overhead kitchen storage, and then looking at the overhead above the bed. What's nice, they're still doing struts under the bed to make that easy lift, which I think is actually kind of cool. There's a little bit of storage below the dinette, although no doors or drawers or anything like that. And over in the kitchen, it's kind of a bummer, but we have no drawers. Like, maybe at least in the Black Label edition, give us one drawer. It feels like there's space there for it. It would be, I don't know. Is there anybody who likes the fact that this has 0 drawers? Like, it's not going to be probably a deal breaker, but for me, anyway, I could get a little utensil organizer. I could make it work, but a drawer's nice, you know. Now, while we're staring over here at the kitchen, I do want to point out, if you look above the countertop, you see an outlet under that overhead cabinet. So they do have some outlets there. Now, what we're about to see, you're either going to think it's awesome or you're going to hate it. And it's the fact that this RV has a split bathroom. It's got a bit of a split personality kind of disorder going on here. So we're in the Black Label edition, which gives you this like crazy shower feature fixture. No matter what though, you will maintain that little kind of corner sink in here. It is a little bit awkward, certainly, because with the toilet not in the same physical room, essentially, as the shower, well, it means that, you know, you do have to still open a door with your bathroom hands to get over there. But they do that because the rest of the Wolf Pups do it. Now, in the Black Label, you get the bigger vent fans. And I tell you what, I'm kind of glad it's there, because look at this. I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall, and there's no way I can totally stand up in the shower. But you can hear my peach fuzz grinding my scalp against that bug mesh under that big vent fan. So I'm kind of glad it's there, because that extra inch and a half of headroom makes a huge difference. Now, what's interesting is if somebody's in here, little Cherokee shub, by the way, not a shower, not a tub. If somebody's in the shower, or if they're using the toilet, somebody else can still come and go in and out of the camper. They can still use the shower. They can still use the toilet. So by compartmentalizing all this stuff, It also kind of has an interesting benefit. Now, it's a little tight on the left-hand side, but I remember this RV in years past. The toilet was so hard against one wall or the other that it was basically unusable for some people. I think they kind of tweaked that and twisted that around a little bit. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. And this camper, since it does have separate rooms for the shower and the toilet, if you're always going to get 2 power vent fans, but in a Black Label, you get 2 big ones. Now, I like to show you RVs in road mode. Usually that means with slides closed, but this is an easy no-slide RV. But I think it is worth talking about in road mode the fact that straight up the, well, I would say the belly, but straight up the backside of this camper, you've basically got a loading zone. Now, you're not going to put a 4-seater side-by-side in there. Well, I mean, you can, but only once. And you got to drive it hard enough to accomplish that. But what you can do is, like, if you've got like some nice expensive bikes that you don't want hanging out where anybody can see, look, feel, and touch them, like you got fancy expensive e-bike or recumbent bike or something like that, like you could load those up there, potentially kayaks. One thing I think might kind of facilitate that, and this is something you could easily add aftermarket as it pleases you. This is a 5/8 tongue and groove plywood flooring, just with the vinyl on top of it. You could easily add some like D-ring cargo tie downs into that, and I think that that would work fantastically. Now, to accomplish this, as you see, they did have to split the rear bumper. And if you look at the upper left corner of the camper, you can see that it is prepped and ready for one of those telescopic removable ladders right next to that Bluetooth backup camera that comes factory standard on one of these. Now, you've got that nice big window. It's kind of, I like the clean look of the sidewall with the door in the back. I wonder if there's not a space in the marketplace for more RVs with a back entry door. I think that that's an interesting concept that should kind of be explored, you know. Now, it does have outside speakers, which I don't always love, but I respect how they brought them down low. This, I don't mind. This I can tolerate. It makes sense. Now, we also have the little dog leash latch back here, and that can be handy for a lot of things, not just pets, but like if you want to make sure that like your patio furniture doesn't go walking off in the middle of the night. It's kind of nice to strap it down sometimes. The stabilizers, first of all, they're doing front and rear stabilizers, which I think is awesome. A lot of single axle campers only give you rear stabilizers. The rear stabilizers are located right next to the tires, which provides great stability, and those are the new LCI quick drop stabilizers that have basically their own strong arm additional stabilizer bar, helper bar. There we go, that's a phrase I should use more often. Helper bar built right in to really give you better ground contact and more stability. It's a nice thing that they're doing here, and it's part of the reason that these little guys are not the least expensive. Now, sometimes these Black Label editions in the past had dangerously low cargo carrying capacity, and I think that they've really addressed that by putting a little bit of a bulkier axle under these. Even in the Black Label edition, you still have, I think, for no bigger than it is, you have decent cargo rating. Over here, we have a full hot, cold outside, nailed it, first try, utility shower, and a tankless on-demand water heater. So, you know, if you're in the shower and somebody fires up the sink, they're not sucking out all the hot water on you, which is obviously a nice thing. Now we're looking at it in Black Label Edition today, but there's also the Standard Series, which will have blue and white striped aluminum corrugated panels. For full transparency and clarity here, this is not a laminated RV in the sense that it doesn't have an aluminum structure. The skin technically is laminated, but it's still hung upon a wood skeleton substructure. So kind of keep that in mind. I hope you appreciate the extra, info and transparency there. Now, we do have ourselves a gas grill cooker hooker, and right behind door number 1 here, you got a decent place to be able to stuff one of those that I never remember to leave unlocked. Thankfully, we have the technology. Also, another neat little thing on the Black Label Edition, you upgrade from the plastic baggage door clippy holdback jobbers to the magnetic holdback jobbers. So I've talked enough. I'd love to hear from you. What do you like about it? What would you keep? What would you change given the opportunity? Would you prefer it in Standard Series or the Black Label Smexy Edition? There's also the Adventure Package, which gives it those sweet knobby type tires. A couple little very light duty off-road kind of things that go with this. Now, I'll say off-pavement. I don't even like the phrase off-road associated with that. You can expand the solar a little bit. There's a bunch of other little odds and ends you can do with one of these. I will also leave you a link in the video description to check for pricing and availability, whether it's in the standard series or the Smexy Pants Shiny Shoes Black Label, as well as to be able to check out some video tours I've done of some other builders who make a very similar floor plan. I got a question for you. What do you, those of you who watch my channel a lot, what would you say if like Ember made one of these? I think this floor plan would fit fantastically in their lineup, and I'd love to hear that from you. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.